All right, welcome back, Zoo Crew. So, what a day! What a day! Really, what a weekend. So, as much as like the last few days, I feel like I've been like steady winning and like making progress. I feel like today was it not really like it's hard to like I don't want to say it wasn't a day where I felt like I won something, but overall, I can feel that I'm kind of reverting in some ways to my old former self. However, like I'm catching it before it takes over, right? So the main thing being like fear. And like today my fear has been like loud as hell. And I know it's the fear. So I guess that makes it easier for me to kind of like stay regulated. But honestly, I guess it ties into like systems and discipline, right? So uh if you don't have good systems in place, it's going to be impossible to like build discipline, right? And like discipline is something you have to build every day. And yeah, so I mean, I'm realizing this today is I've been letting my discipline kind of slip. I kind of got comfortable and it is what it is. When you're in love or you're like happy and like things are going good or like comfort happens, like it's very easy to slip into comfort and just let your discipline go. And that's something I'm realizing today, right? So I kind of got complacent and like it's on me. It's just yeah, so I think there was a quote I read in a Ryan Holiday book about discipline where it was like you don't rise to your standards, you fall to your systems or something like that. I'll find the quote and like I'll talk about it at some point, I guess. But something like that, right? So essentially the point is that everybody thinks like, oh, I'm gonna rise to this occasion. It's really like it's the opposite, right? So whatever your baseline is, that's what you'll fall to. So if you don't raise your baseline standard, when you do fall, like you're gonna go down deep. So yeah, you know, yeah. It's a journey, especially because like I've gone my whole life without actually like ever regulating my emotions or like processing them. So now that like I have to, I'm realizing like it's pretty draining. And like yesterday was like a whole day of like rest and recovery, but like I woke up today just like exhausted, like dead, like 0% battery, you could say. And it like spilled over into like other aspects of my life, right? Like I didn't do any of my prayers on time today. Like I literally just did them all at the end of the day before filming this video. And like I mean it was good that I did them. So it's like building that little bit of discipline because I know had I not done that, I probably would have still been like ruminating and letting my fear like take over and like it's literally like I can feel it's my own like abandonment wound or like my own kind of yeah, that's what it is. So my brain is just scanning for danger even though there's no danger anymore. And it's like something I have to work on, and I'm sure it's gonna take time. But yeah, I mean, I guess in this whole keeping with this whole notion or like topic of systems, we can kind of go into like what the hell I'm building or like what I'm trying to build in terms of my business, right? So there's like a few key pillars. Obviously there's the AI, and then there's also like media, and then systems, right? So this is essentially like an full service agency, you can say. It's like I'm doing business consulting, but I'm also like a marketing agency, and then I'm also like an AI agency. So in terms of AI, like we've already discussed this, right? There's so many different ways you can use this, and most people don't know how. So that's like the one part is like, okay, let me figure out how people can implement AI, right? Then in terms of now like systems, this can be anything from like your actual operational system to like a sales system to a marketing system, right? And again, like even for my own personal life, any growth that I've had or like seen, especially in the last few months, is like I've created these little systems. Obviously, like the systems only work if you actually like implement them, right? So again, like whenever I stopped implementing my system, I can feel my life is like starting to like unravel, right? So that's like the other piece. And then media, again, it's everybody knows media is important, but it's like how do you use media for yourself, because like everyone is making content now, and like it's all the same generic garbage bullshit, right? So let me give you guys an example, right? So let's say I'm a realtor, um, yeah, and everyone's doing like, oh, just listed, or like stuff like this, or like talking about interest rates, or like stuff that people don't care about, right? Right now, with the way I see media going, you should be creating like a mini story or like a mini series, right? Um, so let's say if I was to work with a realtor or a mortgage broker or somebody in the real estate industry, right? If I'm making content, I'm not going to be doing the kind of content that everybody's doing. Instead, I would start my own kind of show. So, like a mini series, right? Where it's like some kind of a home renovation show, or yeah, really, like I would do like some kind of a home renovation show where it's like you're talking about what you would do in business. So, like you're educating people about who you are and how you operate in your career. And that's like bringing awareness of who you are and your brand to people without actually like putting out all this garbage generic stuff that nobody's going to want to watch, right? So it's like entertainment, but then you're also kind of top of funnel, right? So, and like this is what marketing is, right? So right now on this YouTube channel, like I'm putting out long form content, right? And the now, because I'm pumping out all these shorts using AI, so like I'll make one long form video and I'll get anywhere from like 7 to like 15 clips from it, and then it's just auto scheduled to post one every single day, right? So what that's doing is that becomes the top of the funnel, right? So people will go and see like one of these shorts and then end up on my actual page and now watch this long form content, right? And then now what's like the next step? Because I'm building out this 90-day kind of catalog, you could say, or like series, or right? It's like a very bingeable kind of thing. So now what I've started to do is I put a comment at the bottom of every single video saying, okay, well, start like from here, day 0, and then I put the link of the playlist, right? So now let's say somebody comes in on day 14, somebody comes on day 17, somebody comes on day 90, whatever, right? Now they're going to see that comment, they're going to click the link, and they're going to go through the playlist, right? And now they're going to binge all of this content. So I don't expect this channel to gain any traction for at least 90 days, right? Because there has to be enough content for somebody to like watch one and be like, oh, this is like a cool story, let me see like more about the story. Then they're going to go to the beginning and watch all of it, right? So it's like a slow game. And that's really what media is right now. So, point in all of this being, you got to find a way to implement and like build systems and then implement like AI and media, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to build this out just because I've kind of like seen where this will go, and obviously it's going to take time to build it to the final form, and I guess that's a good metaphor for even myself, like I'm like building my final form of like who I am, like Manzoor final form, right? um and I guess, yeah, you know so all in all, this is not going to be a long video. I've had a very long day, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But as much as like before I filmed this video, I felt like I wasn't making much progress. Just kind of like the way I dealt with everything that happened to me today. Um, I'm pretty proud of myself, and I guess I would say I've made progress, just considering like I caught the fear and I didn't let it like spiral, and then like I didn't just kind of make accusations or like go way overboard, right? And I guess the other thing is like before we end this, I'll just talk about like why I'm still doing this, right? Or kind of like what's driving me to not keep making videos. Uh, so I got this comment on one of my shorts or like reels, I guess, from like Facebook. And like it's clearly a burner account. So it's like somebody I know that I've blocked probably, or God knows what, right? But like trying to get a reaction out of me where like, oh, like why the show? So it's like, yeah, I could have just not replied, and like the old me probably would have like gone into like full over explaining mode and like attacking them or something. And now all I did was like, oh, like it's not a show. This is my story, and like if it inspires at least one person, like I think it's worth sharing, right? So that's one part of it, and then like the second part of it now is that like I'm realizing how much fear controls me, but then also like how much fear controls other people, and people just don't have the courage to speak up. And then I was going through like some of my like archived memories from like the stories on my Instagram and stuff, and like so 2022 this time, like December 2022, I was like in a manic episode and I was going on a rampage, right? But what I was doing wasn't actually like that crazy or like bad in that sense, because I was going after all these like fake real estate, Canadian fake real estate investing gurus, right? So all these like pretenders. So yeah, and I mean like I destroyed slash exposed like 20 people's brands to the point where like half of them had to rebrand, and then like yeah, you know. So the point I'm making is like I've always been the kind of person who speaks up against injustice and like corruption, right? Throughout my whole life, and I think I get that from like just the values I got from doing Taekwondo and like the philosophy behind Taekwondo, right? And then I guess the other thing is like I was always a very quiet person, right? Like I had to cultivate this skill of being like on camera, being able to talk, right? Like if you put me on a stage maybe like years ago, like I would be very, very scared, nervous, not want to do it. Now I'm at a point where like you can literally drop me on a stage anywhere and like I'm cool. I'll MC an event, like I'll talk about whatever, you know? Um, and I feel like it's kind of my like gift that God's given me, so I should use it in a way that would benefit people, right? So first that's like speaking up against injustice, and then like spreading good messages and like inspiring people. And then yeah, like I mean, even this is like another recurring theme in my life, right? Like I've always been a misfit, and then I guess other misfits kind of find me. And then like initially I would be so annoyed, and it's like, yo, why are all these misfits finding me? Like you know, and I guess it's like because they kind of saw me as like a beacon of hope or like a lighthouse in like the ocean storm. And like instead of being like happy about that or like taking pride in that, I kind of like felt annoyed or like, you know, or like was judging these people. And now I'm at a point where it's like cool, like I can accept this role, and like if like these people are going through something and they can't protect themselves or speak up for themselves, like I'm more than happy to take on that role, you know. And I think this comes from like just finding clarity and like inner peace, you know. And then also just seeing like the state of the world these days, I think more people need to just stand up for like good, stand up against evil, you know. And like don't be silent. Like silence is a huge form of cowardice, and really like all the problems in the world, I would attest to cowards and their silence, you know. So I refuse to be a coward. I refuse to be silent anymore. And I mean, if you have an issue with what I'm saying, then like why are you here watching this, you know? Like why are you spending your time going through all of my content, or like making fucking burner accounts to come and like spy on me, you know? Like if you don't like what I'm saying, why are you coming and like seeing what I'm saying? Go spend your time consuming things you enjoy, you know? Uh, this is just like the funny part about humans, I guess, or like the duality of humans, or people just like haven't realized how their brain works. And I guess this comes back to what I was saying before, where I would say like 80% of people don't know how to think, you know? So yeah, what a day, what a life. Zoo Crew, that's it for today. I know it's a short video, but I'm exhausted, so I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.